By the way, I looked it up because I had another conversation with somebody about it. Zoomtopia is just what they're calling their annual meeting, like their annual convention.
Oh, all right.
So it has nothing to do. I mean, unless the convention is themed, it has nothing to do with anthropomorphic animals. So it's terrible. That's not what we're going to talk about here.
Okay.
We cannot skip Fridays anymore and like do multiple episodes or whatever because I cannot be left to my own devices.
What do you mean?
Let me tell you how last Friday went when we weren't recording a podcast.
Okay.
I was watching TV because
Okay.
what else am I going to do? I was watching YouTube, and then I finished some video, and I don't remember why, but I was checking something on my phone, so it just had YouTube up there, but I wasn't in a video or anything like that. Checking my phone, and I look up, and the TV with the YouTube thing has gone yellow, like a yellow tint,
Hmm.
and I'm like, I don't love that. That's probably not good. And then the TV died.
Oh, wow.
But I don't mean the TV stopped working.
Oh,
I mean, I watched the TV bleed out. I watched the TV's soul leave its body
okay.
because it's just yellow,
Hmm.
but not even on all of it. There are parts that are still sort of normal or whatever. And so I start hitting buttons on the remote and it's making sound. It's making the noise of when you hit a button, but nothing's happening. So I just keep doing it because sometimes if you sort of overload it with input, it just reboots itself. And so I'm doing that, but nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. I'm like, were those black dots there before? There were just a couple in places, just little. Well, okay, they were a little bigger than little. Are they growing? Are the black dots growing? And so I start like pinpointing spots on the menu, and I slowly figure out, yes, both the yellow and this new blackness is just very slowly spreading
Mm.
until eventually, over like a solid minute, I would say, it finally goes entirely black. One of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life. And after that, we tried all sorts of stuff and it didn't work. And the only way you could tell if it was on was some of the spots the black had kind of blown out, so you could see sort of whiteness on the TV. That's been true for a while, so that was the only way I could really tell the difference. But anyway, so this sucked. But is the start of the weekend. Like I could live off of my laptop in terms of watching stuff, but it's the start of the weekend where Trish and I frequently watch stuff together. We play video games. This will not stand. So I start looking for TVs. It's kind of crazy expensive. Trish starts looking for TVs. They're crazy cheap. We finally figure out what's going on. Anyway, we find a TV. It is essentially the exact TV we have, but cheaper and newer and better, which
Okay.
I love when this happens. It frequently happens when I'm buying a new laptop. Same deal. Like I spend less than I spent before for a laptop that is better in every way because technology moves on. So this is great. And it's at Best Buy. So we can go pick it up. So we do the thing, we pay for it online. They're like, it's ready. We head over to Coralville. And then we got in a car accident.
What? Oh no.
It was pretty mild. Nobody was injured. Um, I mean, this is technically going out on the internet, and we haven't officially gotten the word from insurance or whatever, so I may be circumspect. But Trish was driving, but I do not believe there is any version in which this could be our fault.
Mm. Mm.
And I believe the other people involved also knew that.
Mm.
And the good news for us is we essentially got no damage. It really fucked up our license plate in the front, but like I literally called the mechanic that afternoon and was like, can you check it out to see if that we don't see anything, but there could be something else. And they were like, well, could you bring it by now, because they happen to have a cancellation. So I went, did that, and yeah, they said it's fine. So we're not even gonna have to file a claim. So I think. So I think this is going to be fun. But yeah, and then we went and we got the TV and we brought it home. Now we have a
Wow.
nice new TV. But it was not. It was a bit of a stressful day. And this would never have happened if we'd been podcasting. So
Okay.
I don't know what to do about that. But there you are.
I mean,
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Magical Talking Hat Podcast, the only podcast in the world that keeps people like me off the streets. And that's what we all want. I'm Tony.
And I'm William, and this is episode 755. I have a feeling the car accident might not have happened, but the TV thing probably still would have. Don't you think?
No, the TV would still be working now. What episode number is this?
755, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
Right. For those of you just joining us, we have a hat. It is magical in that it has its own email address, themagicaltalkinghat@gmail.com. People like to write into that email address, themagicaltalkinghat@gmail.com, with whatever the crap they want. Notes, comments, questions, topics, stuff. And the hat magically, all on its own, forwards us the emails, makes us read them. We talk about them. That's it. So how have your 2 weeks been?
Good, I think. So we saw a couple things that it might be of interest to you that we saw them. We saw the first season of Squid Games. Is it Squid Game or Squid Games? Squid Game.
Games singular, because the final thing is the Squid Game.
Game, yeah. Yeah, we saw that. We never seen it before.
We also have seen the first season.
I don't know if we'll watch the second one. We haven't. I mean, we watched this.
We aren't. Yeah.
You don't think you will? Okay.
It was a neat idea. It was very original. I don't need continuation of the story. The premise was interesting. The story is not, and also frequently doesn't make sense. But the premise was cool. And so it was fun to watch, but also I really was annoyed with the ending of the first season. And so I was like, yeah. But it was one of those, like, when we finished it, we're like, that's pretty good. We might watch more. And then it took a while for more to come out. And by that time we were remembering it and we're like, do we really need to keep going with this? And I don't think we ever officially decided, but like, yeah, we haven't. We're not gonna.
I mean, we probably finished it, I don't know, 5 or 6 days ago, and there have been plenty of opportunities for us just to go right into the next season, and we just haven't done it. Yeah, because I don't think we're terribly interested. I don't feel like we were super impressed with it. We watched it all. We were interested enough to watch it all, but I don't.
It was novel, and I really enjoyed that, and I think it was well done by and large.
Yeah.
But I just don't need more of that.
Yeah. That's probably our sentiment too on it. But we did watch it, and we watched K-pop Demon Hunters. Have you watched that?
Everybody, no. I keep thinking I should and that I want to, but I don't want to enough that I have yet. But I mean, everybody is. I feel like I am. There's a little FOMO going on if I don't get on that.
Well, Abby likes Korean movies and TV shows and stuff. So she's interested. It's fine with me. The animation is really good. I mean, if you're
pretty.
Yeah, if you're an animation person like I am, you'll like it for that, I think. The music's really good. I'm not a dance pop fan from whatever country it comes from, but I like good lyrics, and the lyrics are very, very good. I like on all of these songs. I'm not a fan of musicals either. However, I acknowledge that some of the best lyrics ever written is in musical theater, and this is no exception. It's very, very good, very well written, and well performed.
I believe all the lyrics to the musical numbers in K-pop Demon Hunters were sorry, Sondheim. I think Steven Sondheim wrote all the lyrics to the K-pop
Sure.
Demon Hunters song.
Anyway, the story was pretty standard, straightforward. I mean, there's nothing, earth
It's
shattering, no
K-pop.
groundbreaking.
There's Demon Hunters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was fun. I thought it was fun to watch it, and like I said, the songs were. I thought the songs were good, at least lyric wise. I mean, I like good lyrics in any genre. I don't care what it is. What else did I want to say about it? Yeah, really good animation. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna like make more or anything, but it's super popular. I mean, oh my gosh, I can't
Yeah, yeah,
believe
yeah.
how popular it is. I mean, if we hadn't known it was popular and watched it, I'm not sure I would have guessed, oh my gosh, this is going to be a worldwide phenomenon or anything like that. But I'm not too surprised, I guess, because it is pretty cool. And a lot of other people
And
do like,
K-pop's huge.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, that
And
genre,
Demon Hunting is pretty big.
that genre in general is huge, but even K-pop, Korean dance pop is very popular too. So yeah, I suppose. Well, and I don't know, maybe the style of animation I think is also really popular right now.
Well, and it does, from the trailer, it does give shades of Arcane, and Netflix is running on a real high of from the Arcane show right now. Everybody
mm,
fucking loves that.
mhm, mhm.
So I think they're in a safe spot for more mature anime, or
Yeah,
I
I
shouldn't say anime, more mature animation.
I think the script is pretty good too. Like the voice acting and the script is pretty tight, and it's really short. It's not long. I don't know. I feel like you'd like it, but I don't. I guess I don't know for sure.
I'll probably check it out at some point here, but I just haven't got around to it, which is shocking because I'll tell you right now, I have 10 movies I've seen that I want to talk about.
Wow.
So they're basically gonna get spaced out over the next month or so. I think. I don't think I
Okay.
can do that
Well,
many,
I mean, that's basically
but I
all I
want to
did.
specify that's not the number of movies I've seen.
Right.
That's the number of movies I actually want to talk about. And the one that I texted you about last night's not even on the list because
Oh,
it is not worth talking about.
okay.
Also, I think I lied. I didn't see it before. I think I started watching it and got bored and stopped because I remembered certain things up to a point and then nothing. So, and yeah.
I mean, other than that, just work. We watched some documentaries and stuff, but I think those are the only two things that I've watched that would be
You
of any
haven't hopped
interest.
onto Peacemaker season 2 yet?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Last night we did. I mean, and so far, I mean, we had to watch the whole first season to walk away from it feeling like
Yeah.
it was okay. And by the way, one of the things I noticed, and Abby agreed with me on this, we were watching like, last season on Peacemaker, and they're showing all these scenes, and
Mhm.
they're the biggest scenes. And I and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
and I told her, I said, I do have to say, I'm impressed that every scene they're showing, those moments were 100% earned. I got to give it to them for that. But why? So I know Gunn has the chops to tell a good story and earn a good emotional moment or earn a good whatever. I just don't understand why there has to be so much of certain types of things.
Because he thinks it's funny. And by and large, box office and viewership seems to agree.
Nah, I get it. I understand. I'm in the minority here, apparently, but I'm like, what is this?
Me
Why are
too. I
you
mean, I
doing
don't think
this?
I'm quite as far along the spectrum as you are, but I have I run very hot and cold on James Gunn, on his
Mhm.
stuff, not the person. I think the person's fine, insofar as I know them, which is not at all. But yeah, I run very hot and cold on his stuff. I either am really into it or I'm really not. And the first season of Peacemaker was both.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see. We'll definitely watch it. We just finished up season 2 of Acapulco, which is still an amazing show. Love it to death. Very funny show, very entertaining, very good ensemble cast. Uh, and we're currently watching season 2 of Sandman.
Mm.
which is good. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm struggling in a weird place of loving the source material, but also feeling like I've moved past the source material. And so I'm liking the things that they've changed, but I'm also disliking the things that they've changed and liking what they kept. And then some things I'm much better nowadays at being like, oh, they changed that because it's a TV show. But
Mm.
then there's some things that I'm like, they changed that for no reason. And in fact, now it doesn't make sense, but it
Mm.
did.
Mm.
And
Mm.
you could have left it out, but you put it in, and I don't know why. Um, so it's fine. I'm gonna watch to the end. I'm sure I'll be relatively pleased. I still can't cope with the fact that Morpheus is making duck face all the time. So even when his mouth is slightly open, he's still just all the time duck face. I can't even cope. Um, but yeah, it's good. I on my own am watching Twisted Metal over on Peacock,
Oh.
which is a TV show about based on an old video game about in the near post apocalypse people with drive cars around with guns on them and try and kill each other for sport.
Mhm.
And so it's that. And it stars Anthony Mackie and co-stars Stephanie Beatriz, who people will know as Detective Rosa Diaz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and the woman who's the head of the old folks home in Man on the Inside. It's really fun. Two night and day roles, and she does a great job in both. Um, it's fun. It's very over the top violence and stuff. It's fine. I told her, I'm like, I don't think you're gonna want to watch this, and she agreed. And I don't like if something happened and they're like, I was like, oh, I can't finish the show. That's fine. But it's mildly entertaining. I'm
Did
having an
you
okay
play
time
Twisted
with it.
Metal or?
No,
I mean, I knew people who
no.
did, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't. Most games that were better played with multiple people, I did not play. So most racing games, fighting games, things like that, I didn't
it was
play.
really popular. But when I first heard they made a move TV show, is it a TV show?
Yeah, yes,
Uh,
TV show over on
I
Peacock.
I was really surprised that they did that. It's like, what?
Um,
Twisted Metal, really?
well, as
Weird.
near as I can tell, I mean, there's nothing to take from the game. There probably is a story, but basically, all they've got is a psychotic, murderous clown who's one of the more famous characters from the game.
Correct.
And otherwise, I think they wholly made up their own lore and stuff. And
Yeah, I mean, why not? I don't think. Yeah, I guess you're right. I
it's
don't
a
think the
sort
game
of
had much.
near apocalypse where all the cities out there have isolated, and it's sort of a wasteland in between.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, it's a fun time, but it can get very violent at times and kind of gross at times and kind of into the post-apocalyptic shit I don't like. And it's Anthony Mackie who, I mean, whatever. He's fine. He's in fucking everything, and he's never impressive, but he never sucks. Like, fine, whatever. It's that. Um, yeah, this is good. Whatever. Not that exciting. Video games have been a much harder process.
Hmm.
So I might be giving up Baldur's Gate 3. I've tried it
Giving
again.
up.
Well, I'm just at a point again where I'm not happy with what's happening. Like, I don't like the game right now, so I'm not playing it, but I'm like not starting anything else. But I like actively don't want to get back into it. I'm like, dude, if you don't want to play the game, don't. But I am concerned because this time I put like 30 hours, maybe 40 hours into it so far.
Hmm.
And I'm like, if I stop now for real, I don't know that I'll ever pick it up again. And I feel kind of bad about that. But I'm like, I don't like it. So I've been trying other crap. Stuff comes down Game Pass. There was Tony Hawk's something or other and some cool looking snowboarding thing. I'm a sucker for a snowboarder game. I don't know why. Tried to play both of them, could not make it out of the tutorial of either of them.
Hmm.
And one of them made me motion sick, even though it's in third person.
Hmm.
So those aren't working. Then this cute little game comes out called Herdling. And it's this weird, like, no dialogue game where you're this little kid on the streets of some dystopian looking town, and you find this weird creature called a calicorn, and you like have to herd it out of town, and you like pick up other ones, and you just have this herd of these creatures, and you take them out of town and then go through different biomes and stuff, and there's some light puzzle solving to get around things, and you take care of them and all that, and it's kind of cute. And I'm like, this isn't going to be very long, we'll try it out, it's fun. And so I've been playing that off and on, and now I'm not going to play that anymore.
Why?
Because your fucking calicorns can die.
Oh.
One of my herd, and you name each one when you find it, fucking died. And not like in some story cutscene. Like shit you do or don't do can make them die. And I'm like, no. In that single moment, you have taken away every reason I would play this game. This was a nice, cozy, relax. Oh, but watch out, or your charges, these cute little fuzzy. I think they're called calicorns because they got horns, but they're very shaggy and sort of calico colors. They're very cute. It's great. It's fun, and I named them. And you can decorate their horns. It's fun, but they can fucking die.
Wow.
So I am out. Which is the same. It's a very pretty game otherwise. What I may end up doing, what just hit Game Pass, is Dragon Age Veilguard.
Oh. Okay.
And I never wanted to play it enough to buy it, but I mean, I've heard it's fine. I've heard it's good.
Yeah, we liked it all right.
I've heard it's not a good Dragon Age game, and I'm a little bit miffed because I didn't do all the DLC in Inquisition that actually finished explaining the story. Like I sort of know now, and this bases off of that. So I don't think I'll be lost, but I'm just like mad at the game.
Yeah.
Bullshit. So, but yeah, so I mean, it's free now, or at least no extra cost. So I've installed it. I bet I'll do that, but we'll see. All right, let's hit a couple of movies here, or maybe just one. Yeah, we might only end up doing one today because we have to talk about the new best movie ever. And you haven't seen it, you jerk.
Okay.
War of the Worlds.
I'm not going to see that. It's not going to happen.
Everyone should see this.
Well, movie. It's not going to happen. Listen, if this were actually the best movie ever, I don't like those things where a person's in their office and doing everything on the screen. I just don't like that.
Screen life films. They actually have made some good ones. I've seen a few. Host is good. Unfriended's pretty good. Yeah. So we got to talk about this movie. Oh my god, I love this movie so much.
Okay.
So in late 2020, all the movie companies were scrambling to figure out what the fuck movies were going to be when we were all living in a pandemic.
Right.
And so they all filmed a lot of weird shit. And most of it, wisely, has been thrown away. But for some reason, Amazon decided that some shit they filmed in late 2020, they would now release as a 2025 movie on Prime. And it's War of the Worlds. Yes, that War of the Worlds. Yes, has been done many times. And it stars Ice Cube. And as William alluded to, it is a Screen Life film, except it's really bad at holding that together. It is you frequently are just seeing Ice Cube. There's a lot of shit where we like are looking at a screen and then the angle cuts and now we're just there for some reason. This movie is terrible in every way to an impressive degree. Like it, and some of it is just shitty filmmaking, but I do think some of this is a snapshot of how insane we all were in late 2020. Because like Clark Gregg is in this movie.
Yeah.
And he delivers some lines really badly. To be fair, they're really bad lines. And Ice Cube, who can act, by the way, I have seen Ice Cube act well, does not act well, and he acts hypnotically terrible. Like, it's entirely possible they just sat him down and had him do like 5 minutes of just going, whoa, oh no, oh my god, ah, ah, ooh, uh, and then just spliced in a reaction where they needed it. It's
Yeah.
it's the every aspect of the story makes no sense and is insane. Hilariously so. Like, it's such a bad idea. The product placement is on a level I have never encountered before.
For
At
Amazon.
one point, uh, our heroes convince a homeless person to risk his life by giving him $1,000 Amazon gift card.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that.
There is an actual Amazon driver in this film who seems like a putz at the beginning, but by the end is like the hero who saved the day.
Right.
Anytime anyone is referring to invasive surveillance, they specifically refer to the government knowing what's in people's Amazon carts. It's amazing. uh it here's the one good thing I can say. The one good thing. The aliens look okay. They're not bad looking aliens. I
Hmm.
mean, they're tripods like every other War of the Worlds, because that's when people say like why does people love War of the Worlds? I'm like, well, it's a movie about aliens show up and they show up in things that look like tripods. And that's in terms of people adapting it, that's pretty much it.
Hmm.
Like, those are the relevant points to make a War of the Worlds. You have
Hmm.
aliens invade like openly, and the aliens or their craft or whatever look like tripods. And if you've done that, you've made a War of the Worlds, apparently. Um, the tone is all over the place. What its perspective is all over the place. But, and I will stop talking about this after I say this, but there is a point where they shoehorn in, like uncomfortably shoehorn in, having Ice Cube say, "Move, bitch, get out the way," which, as all beloved old school hip hop folk know, are some very famous lyrics from a song by, you guessed it, Ludacris. Not Ice Cube, Ludacris.
Okay.
I don't know if they forgot their guy was not Ludacris for that part. Like, why? 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 It's like if Justin Timberlake in the movie In Time or whatever, where he was the guy in there, like if that they had shoehorned in like a Backstreet Boys lyric, like why? What? Why did you do that? Why did you not know? It's weirder if you did know, but it's pretty wild if you didn't know. Like, if you're just like, those are hip hop things people say, right? Ice Cube probably said it. No, Ludacris, very famous. So yeah, I highly recommend. It's only like 90 minutes. It's on Prime, and it's hilarious. Also, well, the Honest Trailer hit on this, which I'm guessing you've seen. Ice Cube's clearly in a room by himself, and I don't even think the room he looks like he's in. I think some of that is backdrop, like
Right,
digital.
right, right.
But he's so phoning it in, and you'd think he's probably looking at the screen and he's reading his lines off of it. No, but he's definitely looking at a green screen on the monitor, and you know this because you can see
It's
the
those
green
glasses,
reflection
yeah.
in his glasses, which they did not remove. It's a phenomenon. It's amazing. I love it. Everyone should see it. All right. couple of these I can knock out here. We saw Blood Simple, the first feature-length Coen Brothers film.
Maybe I've seen that. I don't
With
remember.
a 24-year-old Frances McDormand you would not recognize if you weren't told it was Frances McDormand. And Dan Hedaya, and I forget who else is in. There's a couple of people in this that you might know. Didn't care for it. It is a very stripped down version of Coen Brothers. Like, it has that sense of, like, you know, people in a awkward situation and one bad decision leads to their untimely downfall, and it's super violent and all that, which is very Coen Brothers. It doesn't have any of the, well, character development full on. Like, I know very little about any of these characters and I do not care for any of them. And any of the sort of like interesting detail that is so solid to Coen Brothers, like the weird eccentric details and stuff. Like Frances McDormand in Fargo doesn't do a ton, but you learn so much about her, and the whole situation matters because you learn so much about who she is, and she's very interesting and funny. There's nothing funny in this movie. I can absolutely see it's Coen Brothers, and I just didn't think it was a good first outing. It was popular, I'm guessing, because it does feel different than most movies of the time. But yeah, I didn't care for it, and I feel bad about that, but it's true. All right, and I'm gonna knock these out real fast. So I've been hearing about it for a while, so I decided, because it popped up on Shudder, I watched Urban Legends, which is an old like 90s horror movie that everybody nowadays is like, it's not bad. And they're right, it's not bad. It's dumb, but it's a fun time. And there's some good scenery chewing. There's a lot of baby actors that you'll know later, which is or actors on their way. Like, this was the last mainstream thing I think Joey Lawrence was in, but Joey Lawrence is in this. Jared Leto is in this, and you would not recognize him if you weren't told up front. He's like the young male lead, like the college age male lead. Is very weird. And yeah, some actors that don't normally chew the scenery get to chew the scenery in this. It's fun. It's very dumb. It's fun. And then the next night I watched the sequel, Urban Legends Final Cut, and it sucks. It's just boring. It doesn't really tie into Urban Legends in like a good way. It's bad. Actually, that may be the one that has Joey Lawrence in it. I think the first one didn't have Joey Lawrence in it. Anyway, so first Urban Legends, kind of fun. Second Urban Legends, don't bother. And then there's a third one that I don't think anybody even watches. So, all right, that's all the movies I'm going to talk about today, because we actually have emails.
Yeah, we do.
Give us some emails, or one email. We got to ration them.
We'll ration them. All right. This is from Azure Talon.
I've heard of that dude.
Beings. Calls us beings, which that's accurate, I suppose.
I mean,
Tony asked my favorite part of Blazing Saddles. Well, I mean, I think you asked. I don't remember what you asked.
I probably asked people to put it in the blog, themagicaltalkinghead.com. But
did you specifically ask him? Did you like, hey, Azure Talon, I know you've seen this movie. Tell me.
Okay. I try never to talk to him. I probably said something about, what's your favorite part of Blazing Saddles? Tell us in the comments below, and smash that like button.
And smash it. And he says, and that is hard, because how do you pick Hollywood's first fart joke? Was it? I wonder. Maybe. Yes, he likes that, I guess. You know, morons, so genuine and funny. Loads of lines I have matured enough to know I'm not allowed to quote. Still so amazing. But my favorite thing when someone tries, sorry, I'm having vision. I should probably have my glasses on to read these nowadays, or I could just there make it bigger. When someone tries to tease me about my last name, Azure Talon's last name is Little, by the way.
Oh, his last name was Talon.
No, it's Little. When someone tries to tease me about my last name and ask if I'm related to Stuart Little, which happens a lot more than you think. No, it probably happens exactly as often as I think, because that's the way people are. I just say, no, but I am related to Cleavon. Spoiler, I am not.
Okay. I think that is a very good response to that. When people ask about my last name, I tell them I'm related to Cleavon Little also. Yeah,
okay.
There are a lot of things I found funny when I was younger that I don't find as funny, or I find different funny, or just have aged like milk. Like, and I very much am like, I get why I thought it was funny at the time and why I really don't think it's funny now and stuff like that. And Blazing Saddles is full of those kind of things. It's also full of things that are really good. Still, what I've discovered is there are a lot of people out there in the world who felt the same as I did when we were younger and have just never changed their opinion. And so I often have a hard time when friends will be like, "Oh yeah, that movie is great," and I'm like, "Is it? I mean, we thought it was at the time, but have you watched it recently?" And yeah, just stuff that just hits different for me. Um, and Blazing Saddles had plenty of that. This is a common thing I have with Mel Brooks. This is also a common thing I have with Monty Python. There's a lot of Monty Python that I do not enjoy now that I did when I was younger. Some Monty Python I never enjoyed. And Mel Brooks, they both, I'm like, when they're funny, they're really funny. And when they're not funny, they're really not funny. Very little mediocre from their production. So yeah, Blazing Saddles is tricky that way. But it is, you're right, it is tricky to find a best part because it's got a lot of good ones in there.
So as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about James Gunn again. And some of the things I don't like in his stuff are things that I would have seen in a movie back when Blazing Saddles was made that I'd see today and go, that's a little tasteless. That's a little, which I would have thought it was tasteless at the time too. I think I've explained when I first saw Blazing Saddles on TV and a whole bunch of stuff was edited out. Then I went to college and someone said, "Hey, you like Blazing Saddles, don't you?" "Oh yeah, sure, that was a fun movie." And then we went and watched it like at the library on video or something. It was like, no, I don't think so.
Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
I didn't like the stuff I wouldn't like about it today. I also didn't like it about it back then. But some of the stuff I see in James Gunn's new stuff, I'm like, isn't this like 80s, maybe 90s type stuff that people, if they watched them today, would go, this is a little outdated, and like, we're a little more enlightened now. We don't really think that kind of thing is funny anymore. And it's like, that's how I feel about it. I feel like this guy is still stuck in some earlier age where, hey, this is funny. People are going to like this. Now, again, as you pointed out, he's very popular. People do like this stuff, but I'm watching it thinking, I thought we didn't make this kind of thing anymore. To my great pleasure that we don't, but I guess we do.
There was a time, a surprisingly long period of time, where most of y'all didn't know who James Gunn was. And those of us who did know who James Gunn was the guy who wrote the film Tromeo and Juliet, a trauma company take on Romeo and Juliet that, like all trauma films, was gross and tasteless and hacky and stupid and whatever, and was one of the more popular out of that company at the time, because it was interesting and clever, but it was still gross and tacky and very problematic and but clever about it. As James Gunn has matured, a few things have changed. He's gotten much smarter in his filmmaking. Like, he's much more intelligent in how he puts things together and certain story beats and things like that. He's much better at it in general. He also has minimized or eliminated the particularly problematic stuff, either because he's matured and knows that's not good, or he's matured enough to know that he won't have success if he does. I don't know which. I don't know the guy. But in any event, that's gone. What hasn't really changed is the sense of humor. It's still, he comes up with more clever ways to do it, but it's still the same raunchy, immature stuff. And yeah, I think you and I are the ones out here. I think I've never known. I am somebody who does not ever recognize myself a decade ago. Like, I change a lot over time, and especially young me, like teenage me, 20 something me. I do not recognize this person. And I find other people who talk about stuff around that time, they're like, and they will even mention like this specific joke from this movie. And I'm just like, I remember thinking it was really funny then. So you still think that's fun? I mean, I don't say this, but I'm like, you still, that's so, I mean, I'm a little jealous, honestly. I would love to have opinions on things and then just fucking be like, and that's going to be my opinion. I can be done now, because it's fucking movies and TV.
Right.
It doesn't really matter what your opinion is. So you might as well have an opinion that you like.
Sure.
I would love it if I liked all TV and movies. So I'm a little envious of people like that, but I'm also very surprised. I don't know. Maybe I have just changed / reinvented myself so many times, and that's unusual. Maybe people are a lot more themselves over time, but yeah, there's just a lot of stuff I used to find funny and I don't now. And
I mean, that applies to me too, but like, for some things, like really sexist or really racist things, you know, I don't know. It must be how I was raised. I've never really liked that kind of stuff. Now, there are some things that like I liked when I was a kid that I don't. I watch it now and I'm like, oh, that's not cool. But like, I wasn't into sexual humor, especially. I just wasn't into that, and so that's always seemed really immature. And I mean, what's changed about my opinion about that was I used to not like it because I just didn't like it. As I got older, I also didn't like it because sometimes it was degrading towards women, right? You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really thinking about that part when I was young. I was just like young. It's like, ooh, that's gross or whatever. But as I got older, I was like, this is actually kind of bad for women, you know? And then, I got older and my opinions got more nuanced even on that. But it's not that he has, you know, picking sexual humor in particular. It's not that he has sexual stuff in his work. Lots of people have that, and I'm not a prude or something. It's the way. It's like, this feels like the way they did this 30 years ago, that most people have, I don't know, outgrown, or we just don't do it like that anymore, but he's doing it.
That's where I got to stop you. I think you're wrong about most people there. You and I, but I think there's huge about mostly of movies we don't see.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally every movie Adam Sandler has done in the last 20 years. I haven't seen a single one of them, and I'm pretty confident I wouldn't, but they are, in a lot of cases, very popular.
That's true. You're right about that.
But so I think it's just not, I think this is very popular kind of thing and just not sort of our thing. I definitely had a line when I was younger. There were definitely points that I was like, no, ugh. I remember butting up against things like Andrew Dice Clay and stuff like that, and I was just like, no, I'm good, thank you. But nowadays, there's a lot of stuff that I sort of get more of what's behind it or whatever, and it's and not stuff that I'm like, oh, that's not appropriate to find funny now, but stuff that I genuinely don't find funny. um but I also still maintain that for a lot of people with these old ones, that they're like, oh no, I still love that movie, they haven't seen it in a while,
Mm.
and they're remembering their favorite bits, or their it's a nostalgia thing. But if they watch it, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, you've never seen that, you have to watch that, and then I do, and they'll say, what'd you think? And I'm like, well, I didn't love this and this, and they're like, oh yeah, that is bad, but what about like this one joke? I'm like, yeah, that joke was good. And they're like, I just, and they're like, and what about this? I'm like, well, that just seems dated, like it's not bad or anything, but it just isn't that amusing now because it's like 40 years later. And they're like, yeah, I guess, but like, yeah, sometimes, and it has to get really weird. I rewatched The Goonies trepidatiously, and The Goonies has some really awful ableism in it, and some really awful racism in it, and some kind of fucked up sexual dynamics and stuff like that, and it sucks in those specific ways. Outside of that, the movie fucking holds up. It's really good. It's a good movie, well made, well acted, well produced, fun time, except for those bits. And that's not a thing I could have or would have said back then, even if I had been aware of it. The concept of like, I can hate these things about the movie and love these things about, like, you either liked or didn't like a movie in my head. But
Mm.
so, and some of them I watch and it's like, this thing doesn't hold up, but it's still fun to watch, especially if you watched it before. And it's not that it's like offensive or stupid, but it's just like, it doesn't have the same punch. Frequently, it's like, oh, this meant a lot to me in the moment because of where I was in my life, that kind of thing. I still talk about that movie, American Dreams, with a Z, the Mandy Moore thing, Dennis Quaid, that was a take on American Idol and George W. Bush. And I went and saw it and thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And it was objectively a bad movie, but it was so cathartic at the time for me. These were things that I needed to have fun poked at. And so it really was a lot. And I'm sure if I watched it now, I'd be like, that sucks. Like, I don't want to watch it now because I'm like, there's no way I would enjoy it.
Well, when you said outdated, I mean, I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get at is like, and I don't, people can like whatever they like, by the way. I'm not criticizing anyone for what they like or don't like, or if they're offended or not offended. But the outdated part, like, for example, some things that are even that are offensive from a race and representation perspective, or whether it's sexist or whatever, sometimes those things feel like they're in older films or TV shows, as a, because it's trying to be edgy or shocking or something. And many times they weren't really even that edgy at the time. Like, you can find older films and TV shows that are doing that. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that was an edgy thing to do, and and let's also say, for the sake of argument, that's a artistic justification for doing it when they did it. Well, it's not edgy now. It's just like, it's just gratuitous, right? It's like, this doesn't serve any story purpose. There's no artistic justification for this, as far as I can tell, except that the person who's making this, I don't know, wants naked people on the set or something. I mean, it just doesn't, I don't get it. I don't see what the point of this is at all. And so I don't know. So to me, I think there is a little bit of this seems, like you said, outdated. It's like, maybe this was edgy or made some kind of artistic point 30, 40, 50 years ago, whatever. But now it just seems completely unnecessary and just lurid for no reason.
Yeah, and I absolutely get what you're saying, and I think it's a very valid point. It's just you. Not just you, but there are huge swaths of people, myself included, who will sometimes watch things that there's no artistic point to it. It's just amusing or entertaining, And also, I'm pretty always down to have naked people on in my TV shows and my
Mm.
movies. I like seeing naked people. Um, I like it when it's like sexy and not like for comedic effect. I do get really old, especially when it's like, oh look, this is a naked dude. Isn't that dumb and gross? I'm like, no, show me a hot naked dude. It's more fun. But no, people love that. People love lurid. People love sensationalized. And people generally love what they love. So, like, if they thought it was cool back then, even if it's more common, not edgy now, they liked it then. They're like, oh, it's more of that. I like that. Yeah, no, I don't.
I don't know. It's just
I
weird to
don't.
me.
I don't think a lot of people are dissecting the artistic merit of James Gunn's works nowadays. James Gunn included.
No, I
Um,
know you're right about that. I don't know.
and also I love naked people. So, um, and also that's not outdated because you didn't like it back then either.
No,
You
I
just get
know.
better to articulate it now, so you think the rest of us have caught up to your evolved brain. We have
No,
not. We have
I
not.
but I can acknowledge though, that was just, of course, that was just my opinion and not a very well developed one. So there might have been a purpose for it that I didn't know or care about.
No, 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 no. People enjoy it.
Okay.
Just a good time. Um,
Okay.
all right, I am going to talk about another movie on my list because it is germane to this.
Okay.
On Peacock, we recently watched a movie called The Blackening.
Hmm.
It is, it's fairly recent. I don't remember how recent, but it is a horror comedy about a group of, I think, 8 black people who rent a house in the woods for for a Juneteenth celebration. And then it's a slasher movie and somebody's picking them off. But specifically, there's a racist video game, or not video game, board game called The Blackening that has like an old, like little Sambo face in the middle, and it's all really fucked up that way. And the movie discusses race and also the role of race in horror movies and things like that. It by and large does not have people that you know. Jay Farrow from SNL is in it very early on, such that I was like, "Where's Jay Farrow? I didn't see him." And turns out, yeah, he was in the opening scene and never seen again. Um, and I have a really hard time with deciding what I think about it. It was entertaining. I definitely had an entertaining time watching it, but it was full of stuff that I'm like, is this? I feel like I don't know how to approach. There's a lot of jokes and comments and things in it that I'm like, is this? Do black people feel this? Like, is this a thing that I don't get because I'm white? Is this a thing I'm not supposed to get because I'm white? Is like, there's stuff in here that I'm like, I feel like this might be offensive, but like all the cast, all the writer, director, all that stuff, all black people, all the way down, and it's being very well received critically, by the way. And I'm in a weird place where I'm like, I've been so conditioned to be aware of my privilege and not step outside that. Not like I don't love that anybody says the N-word, but I get how we're more comfortable with black people saying the N-word, and I should definitely not say the N-word, and I don't want to say the N-word. That's the thing. I am so into that sense that even if it was socially acceptable for white people to say the N-word, I don't want to say it. And so there's a lot of things in this movie that I'm like, I'm not sure I find it funny, but is it because I am so used to finding this problematic that now problematic things can't amuse me? Or does this just feel problematic? And it becomes this thing like, if white people had made this movie, I would not be confused about where I stood on this, but black people did. And I'm like, so does that? I don't know what that means, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's very weird. Just a lot of jokes that feel like in jokes within the Black community in a way that I'm like, that, again, I get the, not for us, not for that. Maybe the movie's not for me, and that would make a lot of sense actually. Uh, but it's one of those things where it's like you make that joke and I'm allowed to think it's funny, but I make that joke and it's not. And I don't have a problem with that, but I think my brain is such that if there's a joke like that, maybe I just can't find it funny. Full stop, regardless. I don't know. I felt kind of uncomfortable throughout the movie.
Hmm.
And don't get me wrong, this is a me thing, but there's a lot of people in the same me position of being white people who might watch this movie. And I don't know. I think it's probably good. And like I said, I was entertained. I'm not sorry I watched it. I guess I would recommend it, but it's one of those where I'm like, I don't feel qualified to have an opinion about it almost in a way. There's there's a lot of power dynamics going on in the creation of this movie that leave me very ambivalent. And so, I mean, and I very much could just be like, what do I find funny? But my brain doesn't work that way at this point. My brain is thinking like, oh, what are the implications of that? And da, 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 da. So I don't know. I definitely laughed some. There's some very good, straightforward jokes and stuff, but yeah, it is weird. But yeah, it's still pretty good. Yeah, like Peacock is stealth doing a lot of interesting Black film. They had this, the American Society for Magical Negroes is also a Peacock exclusive, and that I love that movie. That movie was great. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird though. I don't run into that too much, but this one I was just like, I'm not sure what to take away from this movie, or if I should take away anything. It's also a goofy slasher, but horror comedy that actually amuses me is not nearly as common as it should be. So it also gets major points for that. And I think it has some very interesting things to say within the film as well, but interspersed with other stuff that I don't know so much. Pick a number between 1 and 12.
3.
1, 2, 3. Wow, this one's extremely specific. And with a okay, this one's just weird. I'm not even gonna make no comment here. The side quest is discover a new star. Learn how to make origami stars. So that's your quest. Do that this week, everyone. Make origami stars. Now be thinking what the quote might be related to something like this. And here we go. Look at you, glowing like a solar flare. You're something special, Jim. You're gonna rattle the stars, you are. From Captain Long John Silver. Famous origami folder, Long John Silver. Ask me how I got this peg leg. Was a terrible origami accent. I said accent. I meant accident. Yeah, it's a weird side quest, but I mean, if you do learn how to make origami stars this week, tell us about it in the blog, themagicaltalkinghead.com. Or email us with, I guess, your favorite line, or email us with why it's so hard to pick your favorite bit from Blazing Saddles. Don't tell us your favorite bit, but tell us why it is so difficult to pick your favorite bit. Like Azure Talent did. Near the end of that, I'm like, I'm not sure this bit is actually any sort of joke. So I figured if I just kept pushing at it, maybe it would be funny. It wasn't. No, I apologize to everyone except Azure Talon. Yeah, and then come back next week and we'll do this all again. because we can't leave me alone on Fridays, as we've established. Shit goes down. And I just got this TV. I don't want a new one again.